Pete Moore, one of PCMGuns. This may look familiar to you. It's a Tippman M4 Elite rifle. I reviewed the 2.2 long rifle version a few months back on my channel. Probably one of the better 2.2 semi-auto AR-15 lookalikes around. What's nice about the gun is it's all metal upper and lower like the original M16 AR-15, and it's completely configured as an AR-15 with all the right controls and all the go faster bits you want to put on there, big head mag releases, drop-in triggers, you name it, better furniture, it'll do it. This rifle is slightly different because it's the M4 Elite but in 2.2 Magnum, which is 2.2 WMR, Winchester Magnum Rimfire. It's an interesting cartridge and one that probably has been overshadowed in the UK by a 17 HMR very much. But I always thought, in terms of a practical type rimfire rifle after the 1988 self-loading rifle ban, where we had to go back to bolt actions for our fun, the 2.2 Magnum cartridge in a semi-auto platform could easily reach out to 200 yards for that sort of shooting. Just running around, mag changes, you know, positional shooting, perhaps 200, 250, maybe even 300 yards. Yes, it's exactly the same rifle weight-wise. Got a 16-inch tube on it, and we'll see all the details in a minute. But to say the 2.2 WMR does give you a little bit of a different view. Some good, some not so good. It depends how you feel about it. Okay, that's it. So let's see what we've got. Feature-wise, from the box, this is the basic gun, so you can dress it up how you like. It's got a Rock River armed style 6-position buttstock. Quite common, not a bad stock, a little bit rattly. You can do better, but again, it works very well. And you have a Magpul type pistol grip here. It's got a fill-in at the back, so you've got a very nice hand position. Comes with a forward assist, which actually works if you need it, though I've never found on any of the Tippman guns the need to use a forward assist because they're that reliable, but it's there if you want it. You've also got a case deflector, which again is good because you can, if you're a lefty, it's not such a problem. There's the obligatory magazine ejection port cover, which is automatic when the action goes forward the first time. Flips it forward. Like so. Mag button there. Magazines drop when pressed, which is good if you're doing for speed mag changes. Right, moving forward, you've got a 16-inch tube with a cage type muzzle brake on a half 28 thread, so no problem getting a moderator or some other muzzle device for it. M-lock forend, about 12 inches long, with a full-length Picatinny rail that aligns with the Picatinny on the receiver, and these two actually line up. But M-lock allows you to put what you like on. I've put a Picatinny M-lock connector here, so I can put a bipod on. You can do the same thing. These are cheap. You get forward pistol grip. Again, whatever you want to do with it, really. The right side of the rifle shows all the basic AR controls. That there is the actual mag release catch. Mag goes in and they drop free. This here is a manual bolt release we've already seen. What happens is, after the last round fired, with the empty magazine in, the action locks open, which is good, so you can dump your mag, new one in, press the button, and you're ready to rock and roll, which is the beauty of the AR-15. Lots of useful controls. Here is your standard 2-position safety catch, safe, fire, easy to operate with your thumb. There's no ambidextrous one on this one, that's an extra, but I quite like on my AR-15s to have an ambi safety catch. You can of course fit up an ambi magazine release, but I've never found much use for them. Trigger's pretty standard. It comes in about 4.5 pounds. It's a little bit firm. So essentially that's a rifle. You can put in it what you like, and most people use red dots, but with the 2.2 mag, because you have the added ability to shoot reasonably well out to distance well past 100 meters, then a scope's better. I've got an old Leopold 329x50 VX2 on here from the custom shop, but you could put, say, red dot, a small compact scope, whatever you want to do really, not a problem. The magazine differs ever so slightly from the 2.2 LR magazine, the same build and style with has small metal feed lips there, which is really nice. but it's got a flat base and it's a 15 round capacity maximum, which is actually pretty good when you think about it. Rounds are easy to load up. They go in, push back down like that. Feed seems to be good. I've fired it with 4 different rounds using different types of bullet and nose configuration. They all seem to feed and function very well. The only slight difference here is that on the 2.2 rifle, the magazines have like a sliding cover over them which you can pull off, and underneath the cover is like an external follower where you can push the mag down, push the platform down as you load. On this thing, it's all just manual, but it loads very nicely. I used 4 different loads for the testing, 1 quite unusual, the other 3 just standard. So from right to left, Remington, that's a 33 grain, basically it's a ballistic tip like a VMAX, they call it I think an AccuTip. Then you've got the 40 grain, which is a jacketed soft point PSP. Then Horner, they come in with a 30 grain VMAX, which is the lightest of the bullets, which is quite cute. And this is something I got from Winchester a few years back. It's a 45 grain sub for the 2.2 Magnum. The reason I use this is an all lead hollow point, like a subsonic would be, and I wanted to see how it fared. So I was testing another 2.2 Mag WMI AR-15 out a year or so back, and I found it didn't like anything with a soft tip, but the Tippman, to its credit, fed them all equally. Okay, just to put a few rounds through it. So standard AR, mags clip in, safe to catch this side, press the button, action shuts, pick off the safety. And clear and loaded. Gun lock's open. Okay, so what do I think? Well, it certainly packs a punch in the same size package as the 2.2 LR, and in some ways there's the rub. For most normal uses, shooting action, sort of running around type practical shooting these days, a 2.2 LR semi is more than enough. It'll take you out 100 yards reasonably easily, but if you're in a club environment, 25-50 yards, that's it, because 2.2 LR is cheaper. 2.2 Magnum is a lot more expensive by comparison, though it's still obviously cheaper than centerfire ammo. But you don't need all that power and grunt for short range use. Where the 2.2 Mag really comes in is if somebody will think up a discipline for the cartridge in a self-loading rifle. So therefore you could put it out of 200 yards with on sort of sensible targets reasonably easily and maybe a bit further. And that sort of is quite a challenge for a rimfire. One thing I have noticed about the rifle, and you probably saw it when I was shooting it, is what I call a very smoky gun. The issue you have with the blowback semi-auto 2.2 Magnum is, it's powder-wise, there's probably, I don't know, 50-60% more powder than in the 2.2 LR to get all that speed, as we shall see. But I believe that the action, which is a straight blowback, there's no hesitation on it at all, the gun is unlocking, or sorry, I should say opening up under recoil pressure faster than it needs to, because obviously you probably find just as the bullet's leaving the barrel, the bolt is moving back, and you get a lot of smoke and gas as you saw coming out the action, and that can get your eyes. It's a bit stingy, and I certainly wouldn't want to shoot it on an indoor range because there's nowhere for it to go. Outside it's fine. I mean, I know that some 2.2 mags do have this issue. When CZ did their 611, which is a sporting type rifle, which I tested years ago, it had a very, very heavy bolt. The bolt was there and there was this massive extension up front. And what the extension weight added was it kept the action shut until the point of peak pressure and the bullet had gone. And it was a lot less smoke and gubbins coming out the side of the gun. Apart from that, pretty good, works fine. All the AR controls, last round hold open, safety, mag drop, manual bolt release, blah blah blah, they all work very well within the rifle, which is what the AR-15 M16 family is known for. It's a great rifle for operating by its controls. It's very slick, Mag changes are slick. If you want to be fast, dump it, new one in. So from that point of view, it's just the good old Tippman quality. Right, let's look at some figures. I've only did 3 loads. Okay, let's start with the Hornaday 30 grain VMAX. They quote 2,200 feet per second, which is quite quick. High was 2,115, low was 1,989, average was 2,052, so a drop of around about 150, with a rather high SD of 89. I know rimfires can be a bit funny SD, but that is quite high. That produces 280 foot-pounds at the muzzle, and the group was a very impressive 0.739 inches. I shot at 50 yards just for testing. Okay, next the Remy 33 grain AccuTip V, pretty much the same recipe apart from the bullet weight. They are quoting 2,000 dead on, and it came in at high 2,101, low 1,993, average 2,031, so a little bit over the top, which is not bad, with an SD of 60.1, high but not as bad as the Hornaday. Group was a disappointing 1.127. And energy was 302 foot-pounds. You can see straight away that the extra 3 grains of bullet weight give you a fair bit more energy. Moving on down, Remington's 40 grain PSP, which is a jacketed pointed bullet, they quote 1,910 feet per second. High was 1864, low was 1742, average was 1801, with an SD of 61. So similar in terms of SD to the AccuTip. Group was 0.936, so just inside the MOA. Not amazing, but then again, you know, you find the right loads. I always say for a lot of these rifles, and they sing. It proves it by the 30 grain VMAX from Hornaday. Energy was 288 foot-pounds. Just out of interest, the Winchester 45 grain sub, they quote 1065, and high was 1,013, low was 966, average was 990, SD was 23.5, and energy was 98 foot-pounds. Okay, all well and good. There's a lot more ammo out there, so just a matter of finding it right. The trigger pull didn't help. It's a very firm trigger, but it's readable, but it's firm. Basically, they say 4.5 pounds, which it probably is, and you pull the trigger and it's firm, and as you move your finger, increase the pressure, you feel a very slight movement within the mechanism, and that's the tip to know it's going to go. And once you get your head around that, you can do something with it. But I think, again, like many off-the-shelf 22 AR-15s, the first thing I do was go and get a drop-in trigger mech for it, and you probably find that is really going to improve the groups. Okay, that's it. It was interesting and enjoyable. So caveat is, think about a 22 Magnum. Ammo's more expensive, the rifle is potentially more expensive, but if you need to push your rimfire out with the right ammo, maybe get a trigger tickle, a few things like that, then you might be surprised what it can do. Okay, just like to say thanks for watching, and as always, support my channel, comment, tell your friends, tell me. It's pmoore.shootingsports@gmail.com, and I'll see you again soon with some more stuff. And as ever, shoot safe, shoot straight.